Hello and welcome to the She Reads Romance Books podcast, the ultimate show for romance book lovers looking for the best books worth reading. I'm your host, Leslie Murphy, and in each short episode, I share my favorite book list of recommendations so you know exactly what to add to your must-read list. Join me as I explore the romance genre and have fun collecting book boyfriends along the way, because life is better with a love story. Cue up your to-read list, readers, as I have got my book list of the top 10 most anticipated new romance books releasing in August 2025 that you don't want to miss. It's Leslie with She Reads Romance Books. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode where I am going to share a few second chance romance books, Forced Proximity, Friends to Lovers, Billionaire Romance, and more in this book list that is going to highlight my favorite new romance books that are going to be releasing in August. There's definitely going to be something for everyone in this episode, no matter which romance trope that you love most. Now, before I jump in, don't forget to keep track of these new releases in your romance book reading journal, the only reading journal created exclusively for romance book lovers. Just visit shereadsromancebooks.com/shop to purchase your copy if you don't have one already. And even though we are looking at new romance book releases for August, we are still in the month of July. So I want to remind you that if you are participating in my annual romance book reading challenge, then the challenge this month is to read one sports romance. And if you are in need of a recommendation, you can just drop me a comment online or on YouTube or on social, and I will be happy to offer one. Or you can search any of my sports romance book lists on shereadsromancebooks.com. Just, for easiest, use the search bar, and those lists will come right up and help you pick your book for the month. Also for July, I'm so excited for our July 2025 book of the month for the She Reads Romance Books book club. And that book is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This is such a good book, you guys, where the main characters find themselves linked and able to hear each other's thoughts in their head. I loved it. This little taste of magical realism that Ashley is so good at writing. I cannot wait to talk about it with you in the club and again with Ashley, who will be joining us on July 28th. It's going to be so fantastic to talk with her. So visit shereadsromancebooks.com/book club to join today. And finally, Christmas in July is here, and so is a first of its kind holiday romantic comedy. Holiday Headlock by Terry Armstrong features wrestler Aaron McKellen returning home from the road at Christmas time after being away for many years building a successful career in pro wrestling. He arrives in his hometown welcomed by friends and family, but it's running into his high school crush that makes Holiday Headlock a Christmas to remember. Surrounded by a fun cast of characters you will never forget, Aaron must ultimately wrestle with whether to continue a life of fortune and fame or embrace the life he once desired with the girl of his dreams. Christmas romantic comedy meets pro wrestling, a perfect choice to read with your partner. Order your copy of Holiday Headlock by Terry Armstrong on Amazon today. Okay, now let's dive into my top 10 most anticipated new romance books for August 2025. Starting first with Well, Actually by Maisie Eddings. This is her new second chance romance that is going to release on August 5th. And here is what it is about. Eva Kitt never expected to be the host of Sausage Talk, interviewing B-list celebrities over lukewarm hot dogs, instead of pursuing the journalism career she dreamed of. But when Eva's, or maybe she called herself Eva, I can't remember now, Eva's impromptu public call out of her college ex goes viral, she's thrust into the spotlight. It doesn't help said ex is Riley Cooper, a beloved social media personality that has built a platform on deconstructing toxic masculinity and teaching men how to be good partners. Forced to confront Riley on a live episode of Sausage Talk, he offers Eva a deal. Allow him to take her on a series of dates to make up for his toxic behavior, then debrief them on his channels to show he's changed. Eva refuses to play nice, but agrees to the scheme to advance her own career and continue defaming Riley's good name. When these manufactured dates start to feel real, Eva has to wonder if the boy that broke her heart has become the man that might heal it. So this book, well, actually, was one of my most anticipated new romance books of 2025 when I made that list back in late 2024, and it did not disappoint. I had no idea that Maisie had such a good sense of humor. This was truly a fun and quirky second chance romance that kind of really also hits you with all the feels once you kind of learn more about Eva and Riley's sort of back history. It's a little heartbreaking, to be honest, but their love story is very quirky. I say bring on the sausage talk this August. It was a really great book. You should check it out. Because I had an advanced reader copy, I should probably say that. And the next book I'm going to highlight, I also got an advanced reader copy of, and that is The Blonde Who Came In From the Cold by Allie Carter. This is her new romantic suspense that releases on August 5th, and here is what it is about. 10 years ago, they joined the CIA. 6 years ago, he left the game. 5 years ago, they fell in love, and 1 year ago, she ran out into the cold with absolutely no intention of ever coming back. And 2 minutes ago, they woke up bloody and bruised and handcuffed together in the dark. They don't know where they are, they don't know how they got there, and they have absolutely no idea who is after them or what this nameless, faceless villain wants. The only thing that's clear is that after 10 years of covers and chemistry, secrets and lies, these two rival spies have been sucked into their greatest mission yet. And now they're going to have to team up to stay alive if they don't kill each other first. This book, I love Allie Carter. I should start there. I kind of found her books last year, and she writes some amazingly fun rom-coms with really put you at this, edge of your seat romantic suspense. If you like slow burn romance, romantic suspense, and like a caper that has you hooked from the moment to moment, then I think you will really going to love this new romance. I quickly read Carter's The Blonde Identity before I read this book, which I actually kind of highly recommend you read first. One, because it's fantastic, but you also meet the heroine of this story, Alex, in that book. But this one is really Alex and Michael's story. It's not to be missed, especially if you love really kick-ass female spies. I thought it was awesome. Check out The Blonde Who Came In From the Cold by Allie Carter this August. Next book I also read in advance. I've been super lucky to read some of these fantastic books early, and it is called He Falls First by Jill Shalvis. This is her new small town romance, kicking off a brand new series. It also releases on August 5th, and here is what it is about. Ryder Colburn has his hands full running the family business and caring for the ailing father who's a virtual stranger from the cold, heavy-handed man he used to be. He's got zero free time for hobbies or women, or so he thinks until one walks into his life in the path of an oncoming car. Ryder doesn't mind playing the hero for the skittish, scarred chef Penny. Maybe it's the secrets in her eyes or the scar on her chin. Whatever the reason, he's compelled to get closer. Penny's learned her lesson, and now she's paying the price. That's why she's sharing a dilapidated house in a tiny California town with her feisty grandmother and tween brother living off the leftovers from her catering job. It's a far cry from her dream life, but who needs dreams or love or sex when there's amateur plumbing projects to tackle and breakfast casseroles to bake? One thing's for sure, she's never falling in love again, not even the sexy, snarky contractor who keeps testing the walls she's built. Now, reading this book, oh my gosh, it was like falling in love with Jill Shalvis's writing all over again. She is one of the first romance authors whose series I honestly binge read from start to finish, and I'm talking like 12-book series. This book kicks off, as I mentioned, a brand new series that I'm honestly really going to devour in its entirety as well, because I'm going to need every one of the Colburn sibling stories who you meet in this book. But I don't know how Jill does it. It's such a great book where it has the central love story, but you do kind of meet everybody, but not just in here's a dump of information. Like, I loved how she presented Ryder's brothers and his sister. Just a really, really great book. And if you follow me on Instagram, I highlighted how Ryder was one of my favorite book boyfriends because he is just one really emotionally intelligent guy who just took things at Penny's pace, and it was awesome. I loved it. I hope you do too. It's called He Falls First, releasing this August. The next book on my TBR list is Anywhere with You by Ellie Palmer. This is a forced proximity romance releasing August 5th as well, and here is what it is about. Charlie Beekman is thriving. Is she financially strapped, languishing in her legal career, and very likely the youngest divorcee at the Ruth Chris Steakhouse on a Friday night? Yes, but now that she's accepted the flaws inherent in all romantic relationships, she finally has life all figured out. She's definitely due for an upswing. So when her free-spirited sister announces her plan to elope with her messy, on-again, off-again childhood sweetheart, Charlie knows she has to stop the wedding, even if it means road tripping into the northern woods of Minnesota in a camper van with her childhood best friend, Ethan, who's as gorgeous as he is chronically unreliable. But when their cozy journey ignites a spark she's tried to ignore for years, Charlie tries to write off her feelings as fleeting, because after failing at marriage so spectacularly with the most responsible man she's ever known, Charlie definitely shouldn't risk it all for her non-committal, nomadic musician best friend, right? I, myself, love romance books that incorporate road trips because of that forced proximity, but add in an opposites attract friends to lovers romance, and I'm sold. This new romance sounds super cute, especially because I can probably relate to Charlie's need to be in control and responsible. And I want to see how that is truly going to jive with Ethan's personality, which seems like it is the complete opposite and not like that. So, I love a happy ending for opposites. But sometimes I'm like, really? Is that going to work? But I think this is going to be a good one. And cannot wait to read Anywhere with You. The next new romance book I'm looking forward to this August is Handsome Devil by L.J. Shen. It is a dark mafia romance that releases on August 12th. And here is what it's about. Gia, the monster from my nightmares, crawled into my reality, masquerading as my boss. Tatum Blackthorne is Lucifer personified. When he discovers my weakness, he makes me an offer I cannot refuse, and I become his wife. I always knew he was depraved, but as his twisted vendetta unfurls, so does my darkest secret. Now we're both the target of very nefarious people. They're about to find out no one matches my husband's wrath. Tate, I am a man of a few pleasures, one of which is destroying Gia Bennett, slowly, patiently, systematically. My fixation with my secretary has an origin but no limits. When my revenge spree sparks into an all-consuming mafia war, I expect nothing but a good time. After all, death cannot come too soon. Alas, it isn't just my life that's on the line now, and in this chess name, the king protects the queen, even at the price of burning down his entire empire. Whew, that was a really good book summary, if I say so myself. And honestly, it's been a hot minute since I have read one of Shen's new releases. So I'm thinking this is going to be the book to break that sort of break, if you will. Though it is book 3 in her Forbidden Love series, I'm going to just dive in because I'm in the mood, I think, for something a little bit dark. I haven't read a mafia romance in a really long time. And, enemies to lovers romance. It's just the ticket for me. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one releasing in August. This next book, I did read an advanced reader copy of, and I absolutely loved it. And the book is Falling into Place by Allison Ashley. It is her new contemporary romance, which releases on August 19th. And here is what it's about. Accountant and freelance personal stylist Carly Porter, daughter of a compulsive gambler, knows the personal cost of a bad bet. But when she partners with her best friend, Sasha, publisher of a floundering fashion magazine, Carly can't resist. The highly publicized makeover of an Oklahoma City bachelor could boost sales and be Carly's ticket to her dream profession. The bachelor in question is none other than Sasha's older brother, Brooks. Hardly the party boy Carly remembers from high school, Brooks is now an antisocial, work-obsessed physician still struggling with a devastating loss. But if it means helping his sister, he's in. It's Carly's job to get him out of those lived-in scrubs, style him to the nines, and bring Brooks back to life. But so far, the only real connection is between Brooks and Carly, and falling for a client could cost Carly the career she's worked so hard for. To move forward, they'll both have to overcome their painful past and whatever the risk, maybe even take a chance on love. So I have become such a fan of Allison Ashley's after reading If Tomorrow Never Comes, which was our June 2025 book of the month for the She Reads Romance Books book club. So, of course, I was super excited to dive into her next release, which gives us the love story of a character you actually meet in If Tomorrow Never Comes. This one, however, can be read as a standalone, and you will love it as Brooks is such a fantastic book boyfriend to love, and he's this awesome doctor. And Carly is the personal stylist I honestly really need in my life. She's super cool. I loved Falling Into Place. I think you will too this August. All right, a few more to highlight. My next new release that I'm looking forward to reading is Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. It is her new billionaire romance releasing on August 19th, and here's what it is about. Lorenzo, 5 months, 2 people in love, 1 fake relationship with an expiration date. Sounds simple enough, but Lily Munoz, I'm not pronouncing that right at all, and I have history. So when she volunteers to date me so I can improve my public image, I should say no. Our past complicates everything, but since my future depends on her, I agree to her plan. Faking it for the public is expected, but falling in love in private, that isn't part of our arrangement. Lily. Using a dating app sounded like a great idea up until I discovered Lorenzo Vittori was my match. My sister's boyfriend hates him, my mom is wary of him, and me, I've spent the last year avoiding him. But when my business is threatened, I'm forced into teaming up with Lorenzo to save it. All I need to do is help him win the mayoral election, and he promises to protect my shop. It doesn't take me long to learn that I'm not cut out for fake relationships, but Lorenzo, he isn't capable of a real one. Okay, so a fake relationship with a billionaire? Yes, please. This is book 3 in Asher's Lakefront Billionaire series, and I love that she's using the old I need a fake girlfriend to improve my image trope, but this time it's to get elected as mayor. Readers who love a good billionaire romance devour her books, so be sure to check out this one in August. Love Arranged. I think it's going to be a really, really good book. Okay. This next one, I also got an advanced reader copy of because I'm just obsessed with this author. And the book is The Entanglement of Rival Wizards by Sarah Rash. It is her new fantasy romance that releases on August 26th. And here's what it is about. Sebastian Walsh, Evocation Department, human, the first of his family to pick college over the military. Alethea Terrell, Conjuration Department, half-elf, pretentious asshole, the latest legacy, Terrell at Lyceria U. Both Magus Research Grant finalists. Sebastian refuses to let anyone snatch this away, least of all a snob writing on old money. But what's worse than a nemesis stealing your grant? You could both get it, under the condition you work together. Sebastian is in hell. Theo's broody takes up their shared lab space with his projects and biceps, brings treats for Sebastian's familiar, and is nothing like Sebastian thought. When Sebastian's past with the Terrells forces him to choose his research or Theo, the decision should be simple. But while working with his rival is volatile, falling for his rival might blow up Sebastian's future. All right, no one writes such fun fantasy rom-coms like Rash, I firmly believe now, which is why I had to dive right into this new release when I had the chance. Reading it, though, I was actually surprised that it has some heavier subject matter. It is all off page, um, but this heavier matter that impacted these two rivals who become lovers, which will really pull on your heartstrings while you also enjoy their hot chemistry. Once the two decided to just have this like hot hookup, once they're done with their lab work, it got pretty spicy. If you love, quirky, fun fantasy romance, that isn't so, world heavy in, like you get with books that are kicking off a 5-book fantasy series, then this is definitely one to check out in August. All right, I think I have 2 more. The next new romance book release I'm looking forward to in August is Saving Rain by Elliot Rose. This is an age gap romance that releases on August 26th. And here's what it is about. I've been on a path to redemption. Case Wilder, former screw up, the bareback bronc rider with big dreams. I had it all figured out, only I didn't count on a ride gone wrong to leave me with no other option than to ask for his help. Zeke Rayner, Rain, the gruff cowboy covered in tattoos, surrounded by mysteries. We've been at odds forever, rivals in the arena, 2 rodeo riders in pursuit of the same buckle, before he left me behind without warning. My stepbrother. When urgent help is needed to run the ranch, he's the last person I want to be relying on for a favor. As the night falls, as the fall nights lengthen, tension and angst thicken the more time we spend alone together. I shouldn't be noticing so many small details, especially not how strong his hands look while working the horses, and I certainly shouldn't be wondering if he thinks about me as much as I think about him. I've never been attracted to a man before. It would be unthinkable to be drawn to him, wouldn't it? So I have yet to read an Elliot Rose romance, or honestly, one in her Crimson Ridge series, of which this book is a part of. But this one sounds honestly too good to pass up, and I'm really excited to check out her work because, as you probably know, I have been in my cowboy romance era for a while and see no end in sight for loving this category of romance. But to have this be an romance, I am like beyond excited for it and really hope it sort of exceeds my expectations. The last book on my list for my top 10 new romance book releases for August 2025 is Unnatural by Mia Sheridan. It is her new romantic suspense that will release on August 26th as well. And here is what it is about. Autumn Sterling has spent her life haunted by dreams of a boy with silver hair and moonlight eyes, a presence so vivid she swore he was real. Everyone said he was a figment of her imagination, a side effect of a twisted medical experiment that turned children into ghosts of themselves, but Autumn never believed them. She felt him, touched him, loved him, her moonlight monster. Now a nurse trying to live a life of purpose beyond her pain, Autumn's world implodes when she sees that face, his face on a crowded street. Sam is no ghost, he's flesh and blood, and he's been running from horrors far worse than anything Autumn has ever dreamed of. Reuniting unlocks a flood of memories and secrets. Together, Autumn and Sam begin unraveling a hidden legacy of cruelty, cover-ups, and corruption. As the danger mounts and enemies close in, it's not just their lives on the line, but the truth of who they were, who they are, and who they could become. In the shadows of their past, can 2 broken souls find a way to heal and hold on to each other? So I think I'm going to have to be in the right frame of mind to read this book because Mia Sheridan writes some chilling romantic suspense, you guys, and that was confirmed after I read Unwanted, which I think is in a similar part of this series called Men and Monsters. So I'm both excited and nervous because I don't know how tortured Sam is going to be. And sometimes it's just almost too much for me to take. Unwanted was pretty radical in and of itself. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I cannot wait to start it. But I'm going to be holding my breath probably the entire time until I get a sense of what is going on with Unnatural by Mia Sheridan. Whew. All right, so that is my entire list for August. Hope I gave you some really good books to think about and add to your TBR list, many of which I've already read and highly recommend. It's just so exciting to keep adding to my TBR list. I think it's like my list now is like almost 2,000 books, which is crazy, right? Totally crazy since I read about 150 a year. But I don't care. I'm just going to keep adding to them every month because our dear author friends keep cranking out so many new amazing reads that I want to make sure that I don't miss a single one, even if it takes me a while. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Do me a favor and just give me a little star rating or review on your favorite podcast platform. That would mean so, so much and will tell me that I should keep creating these episodes. But until next time, happy reading because life is better with a love story. That's all for this episode of the She Reads Romance Books podcast. I hope you enjoyed it and found some new books to add to your TBR list. If you did, please subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. It really helps me reach more romance book lovers like you, and I appreciate your support. If you're a book boyfriend collector like me, then you'll want to join my email list so you never miss a podcast episode or a new book list. Just visit shereadsromancebooks.com/join and sign up today. As a thank you, I'll instantly send you my list of top 10 book boyfriends that will make you swoon. Trust me, you don't want to miss this list. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.